As many of you have probably already noticed, on this channel I usually show up to complain when something is badly done, when they butcher a story, or just when it simply makes no sense. That's why today, once again, I want to do something different. A few weeks ago, we analyzed the trailer for a new Amazon series, and honestly, I braced myself for the worst. After Rings of Power, The Wheel of Time, and what they have done with other franchises, you already expected another disappointment. But this time something strange happened. I finished editing that trailer video with a smile on my face, thinking, wait, this is from Amazon? It's called SPIDER-NOIR, and trust me, it's absolutely worth us talking about it again. I want to make a disclaimer. Even if there are no direct or strike spoilers in the review, there are some kind of. So if you haven't watched the TV show, I want you to take this in consideration. Hello dear viewers and welcome back. My name is Amilcar. I'm a sci-fi and dark fantasy author and this is 4 Cents. A quick recap. Spider-Noir tells the story of Ben Riley, a private detective barely scraping by on the streets of a city deep in the 1930s. This guy is the complete opposite of the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man we know. He's not the responsible kid who carries the weight of the world on his shoulders. It's almost the totally opposite. Ben is cynical, a bit of a coward when things get ugly, irresponsible, and always looking for the easiest way to dodge any real problem. If he smells that a case is going to bring him headaches, he'll make up any excuse to run, even if it means not getting paid. And that's exactly what makes him so interesting. He's not just another Spider-Man, he's a spider-legged anti-hero. The story takes place right in the middle of the Great Depression and the Prohibition era. A great impoverished city full of corruption, where alcohol flows under the table thanks to mafias, bootleggers who control everything from the shadows. Constant rain, neon lights reflection in puddles, trench coats and fedora hats. The noir atmosphere is perfect. And it is in this world that some truly diverse and impressive characters are born. Let's start with Robbie Robertson, brilliantly played by Lamorne Morris. Robbie is an unemployed journalist who used to work for one of the city's biggest newspapers, but it looked like he was fired because of the color of his skin. What's interesting is that the series doesn't portray him as a kind of victim. Robbie doesn't wallow in self-pity. He uses that reality to his advantage with intelligence and sharp wit. There is one particular scene that I like it a lot, where a woman threatens to scream that a black man broke into her room. Instead of panicking or begging, he responds with such a calm and cunning that he completely turns the situation in his favor. And moments like that give the character so much depth and personality that I must just say thanks. It is funny because things like this are those that Hollywood has been saying for such a long time. No, we can't do this. No, this is not how we do things, or this is not the way we want you to see our movie or TV show or whatever, because we want you to see them as victims because they feel like they are victims. And no, because you need to understand that in that period of time, if every black people feel the same way as Hollywood say they feel it in that moment, there will be no black people alive. Because in that period of time, you cannot work as a victim. You need to work with the tools that you have at hand. And that's something really important that most of the people have forgot. Sorry. And that's the thing. And because of that, here I want to be clear. A big part of the cast is black. And far from feeling forced, like most of the TV shows or movies, it fits perfectly with the core of the story. In this hostile world, because this world is really hostile, race, gender, and loyalties are the difference between getting a bullet or a drink. And the characters don't victimize themselves. They play the cards they were dealt and use them to survive. And for me, that adds real value and depth. And that's the thing, because on the female side, even though there aren't many, actually there are 3 female characters, every one of them leaves a mark. And one of them is, for example, Janet, played by Karen Rodriguez. It's a strong woman, not because of punches or fight scenes, but because of her attitude. In one scene, for example, she gets hit, and instead of doing the typical Hollywood thing, screaming or collapsing forever, or, I don't know, punching the guy and breaking his nose, she shows real fragility. But a minute later, she looks her aggressor straight into the eyes and demands an apology. That's a strength of character, and it's something, as I said before, that's something that Hollywood seems to have forgotten. Or for example, Felicia Hardy, played by Lee Jun Lee, a selfish, ambitious, treacherous woman with a cold heart. She's not a victim of the war, and her flaws don't come from some trauma. She's just like that. She's willing to sacrifice whoever it takes to get what she believes she deserves. And that pure, unapologetic ambition makes her fascinating. Now, on the antagonist side, there are also many gems. Silvermane, played by Brendan Gleeson. He is the big mafia boss in this first season. Just amazing. That's all I have to say. Amazing. Sandman, Jack Houston. He's a thug with a strong code of honor and respect for his word. Perfect. I love the character. But I must say that the one who surprised me the most was Megawatt, played by Andrew Caldwell. He has this over-the-top, dramatic, almost theatrical performance, but the thing is that his character has a perfect contrast with the more serious and restrained tone of the rest of the cast. And that's why his scenes, to me, they were unforgettable. Also, there is a thread that looms over the entire story like a shadow: Nazi experiments. The series takes real events from World War II and uses them as an origin of something much darker and more ethereal that pulls the strings on almost every character. And they are not using Nazis as direct villains, but as the root of a great monster. The detail gives the plot a lot of depth, and this is just perfect. Because, yeah, I know, I understand that this is a change in the Spider-Man Noir origins and his powers and where they come from. But the thing is, it according to the story and the environment of the plot, everything is, yeah, I can believe that. Actually, if you ask me, to me, this has more sense than the mystical origin of the Ben Reilly's power. And finally, but without a doubt, the most important thing, Nicolas Cage as Ben Reilly, simply sublime. And thus, this reminds me a comment that I read in a Spider-Man Noir trailer, that someone said, you can die as a Ghost Rider, or you can live enough to become a Spider-Man. And I want to say I'm happy that this happened. Cage delivers a broken man who constantly struggles between what he wants to do and what he must do. And I just love it. A guy haunted by the ghost of the woman he loved who died because of him. To silence his second personality, the spider, because he's always struggling with it. And he doesn't hesitate to drown it in alcohol at the first opportunity. And when he puts on the suit, it's brutal. Savage beatings, questionable solutions, and a willingness to eliminate threats by any means necessary. And when I mean any means necessary, believe me, it's any means necessary. He feels like a war veteran who has seen too much horror, and he no longer has the patience for pretty heroics. He just say, okay man, I'm done. And because I'm done, you are done. And that's all. The world of Spider-Noir is one of the series' greatest strengths. The entire story takes place in 1930s New York, right in the middle of the Great Depression, where racism is just normal part of everyday life. There are train cars reserved exclusively for black people, hotels that only accept whites, and places where the mere presence of a person of color causes immediate rejection. And what's powerful is that they show all of this naturally, without preaching. Curiously, many times the criminals feel more human than the police. The police who is corrupt, violent, and abusive with the power they hold, just like the police was in those days. And it's because of this, because of all of this, that in some moments I was wondering, wait. This is an Amazon production? Is this Amazon? Because if you take in consideration all the previous shows, all the previous productions, even The Boys, even they don't go this far. Because here, everything is just perfect. And that's the thing. It's just perfect. As I've said in other videos, you can touch this on these topics as long as they serve to the story, and as long as they are a logical part of the world. And here they do it really well, and it gives everything a lot of personality and credibility. This kind of environment actually is the perfect genetic pool for these amazing characters that are born from this twisted world. And I must say it again, I love it. I really love it. Actually, maybe this is one of my favorite TV shows in a really long time. They also pay a lot of attention to the visual details. Every character's clothing clearly reflects the social class they belong to, and that just through the colors and styles they wear. And another strong point is how they treat a strong point in the plot and the story and overall is how they treat war veterans. Men who came back from the hell of World War II only to be forgotten and thrown away by the same society they protected. Seeing that despair and poverty is harsh and very real, because that's something that happens nowadays. All these elements, poverty, racism, corruption, the mafia, prohibition, and abandonment of veterans fit together like a complete melody. They don't feel loose or forced. They form a dark symphony that makes Spider-Noir feel like one of the best series of 2026. I'm being completely honest, it bothers me that people haven't talked more about this show. It deserves way more buzz. Unfortunately, on the internet we only mobilize when something is woke to criticize it, and that's fine. Actually, that's really fine. We should call out the bad, but we also have to recognize and celebrate when something is well done. That recognition, at least to me, is the best incentive for more quality shows to be made. And at the end of the day, that's what I like it most about Spider-Noir. We didn't go looking for a noir series. We showed up because it was Spider-Man. And what Amazon's delivered was a mature, dark, well-written story with characters who feel alive and complex. A broken, cynical, and fascinating Ben Reilly, played by Nicolas Cage, who seems born for this role. A world that hurts because it feels so real, and a cast that shines, whether they are protagonists, supporting characters, or antagonists. It's a series that doesn't treat you like an idiot. It doesn't shove message in your face. It doesn't force anything. It simply drops you into the 1930s and lets you live alongside characters who are just trying to survive as best they can in a world that doesn't forgive. As I said before, for me Spider-Noir is easily one of the best series Amazon has released in a long time, and without a doubt, one of the best Spider-Man adaptations we had in years. And that's why I believe that it deserves way more attention than it's getting. If you like superhero stories, but you're tired of the same old things, or you just want something different, mature, and with real personality, give this series a chance. It's really worth it. I think it'll surprise you as much as it surprised me. And believe me, I am a huge fan of Watchmen. And that is for today's video. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others. I love to read your thoughts in the comments. And what about you? Have you already seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments if you believe it's worth watching or if I am exaggerating. Once again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Amilcar and I'll see you in the next 4 cents video. Bye bye.